Thanks for watching this 4 News Now Coronavirus Report. I'm Robin Nance. We are following the latest coronavirus news impacting families here and across the country. The U.S. dealing with a meat shortage and is expected to get worse. More than 1,000 Wendy's restaurants were sold out of burgers this week. And more cases of a mysterious illness in children that seems to be linked to COVID-19. 50 cases have been reported in New York and several more across the U.S. and Europe. Plus, new data shows cases of coronavirus reached Europe weeks earlier than previously thought. If verified, the discovery would mean the virus had been spreading beyond China for weeks undetected. In our community, new numbers are giving us a better picture of the severity of COVID-19 cases. At the peak of the pandemic in mid-March, more than 10% of people in Washington hospitals were suffering from COVID-like symptoms. Now that number is less than 5%. There are 10 people currently in Spokane County hospitals suffering from symptoms of COVID-19. There have been a total of 66 hospitalizations in the county since this started. The hospitals in town have reassured us several times, saying there is enough capacity to handle any surge. The drop in numbers is encouraging, but Governor Inslee says we are not out of the woods yet.
Obviously, we still have a long ways to go in our battle against COVID-19, but our recovery is moving forward.
The governor also announcing 3 advisory groups leading the reopening process. One is dedicated to expanding testing in the state. Another will be responsible for helping businesses reopen safely. And another group created for human services, making sure every family in the state has access to food. Some tough news for local hospital group this morning. Providence tells us some of its employees could be furloughed soon. The company says revenue has already dropped 40% in some areas since the pandemic began. The company wouldn't say how many workers will be affected by these changes, but that there are many reasons for the financial strain, including cuts to elective surgeries and people avoiding hospitals altogether. In a statement sent to 4 News Now, a company spokeswoman said in part, "We do not have immediate plans for additional actions. We will continue to evaluate as we prepare to resume non-emergent surgeries." The company tells us these furloughs will begin May 17th. The state of Washington officially began moving forward on reopening yesterday. While many social distancing measures are still in place, phase 1 of Governor Inslee's Safe Start order is in effect. So here's a look at what this means for you. Washingtonians can now visit state parks, fish, and play a round of golf. In the coming days, more construction, landscaping, car dealerships, curbside retail pickup, and car washes can open back up. And this is only allowed once they get the proper safety and sanitation protocols in place. And people were certainly taking advantage of the reopening of state parks yesterday. We went to see how things were going at Riverside State Park. Many people riding bikes and walking on the trails. Signs posted across the park remind people to practice social distancing and trail etiquette while enjoying that sunshine.
It's beautiful out, and you can definitely keep distance and be outside and breathing the fresh air that God gave us.
If you are planning to head to a state park, you have to have one of those Discover passes. You can buy one there at the park, or you can buy one online. Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward and others want Governor Inslee to let them move faster through phase 1, but they have received disappointing response so far. In a phone call yesterday, the governor told leaders in eastern Washington he would only allow counties to enter phase 2 if they had no new COVID-19 cases in a 3-week span. The mayor says that seems unrealistic, and on the phone call with the governor emphasized the fact that new cases in Spokane County are in the single digits. There haven't been any recent deaths, and local hospitals have plenty of beds and ventilators available.
We'll continue to share him our data on a regular basis along with our plan, so that we can make a case and try to pressure him to allow us some more movement.
Spokane County leaders are not giving up. They are finalizing a plan on how to get phase 2 businesses open. They will share that with the governor next week. A newly approved drug is helping COVID-19 patients recover quicker. Remdesivir was first made to treat Ebola patients a few years ago. Well, now it is helping COVID-19 patients recover in about 11 days compared to 15 days for patients given a placebo. Spokane's 2 largest hospitals have been giving the drug to coronavirus patients for weeks now. It is not a cure, but it is a treatment. Multicare has given Remdesivir to 57 patients so far in 3 of its hospitals. 38 of those patients have recovered. Some were even discharged earlier than expected. 3 other patients died despite being treated with it. A doctor from the hospital says those patients were already severely sick for several days before making it to the hospital.
People think it's a magic bullet, and I keep telling everyone, no, it's not. I think it's one of the tools that are available in your toolbox.
Sacred Heart has only given remdesivir to patients on oxygen support or those with pneumonia symptoms. But now that it has FDA emergency approval, it will likely be the go-to treatment for COVID-19. The TYSON beef plant in Wallula is open again with limited operations. It shut down on April 23rd when dozens of workers at the facility tested positive for coronavirus. Tyson Foods gave a joint statement with the Walla Walla County Department of Community Health, saying employees who tested negative will head back to work. Those who tested positive will only return to work once they have met the standards outlined by the CDC. Eastern Washington University plans to continue online education in the fall, but not entirely. Eastern outlined its online first maximum flexibility model yesterday, which says some courses will be offered in person. That includes classes like science labs. Those face-to-face classes will have guidelines to reduce health risks to students and faculty. Schools around the nation are finding ways to honor the class of 2020. Here at home, staff from the Online Academy spent a morning making sure each of its seniors felt special. They put up all these photos of their graduating class on a fence at the school, 260 of them. Now, the graduation for these kids is a especially huge accomplishment because some of them have overcome some challenging pasts. On Track Academy is an option choice school, a place for students to learn at their own pace. Some are the first to graduate in their family. Plans for graduation are still uncertain, but doing this helps to honor them in some form.
It's actually pretty heartwarming. Yeah. We miss our kids. We miss being able to support them.
I mean, I just kind of never thought I would be here, so I'm just really glad I am.
In these photos, students wrote on that little chalkboard what is next for them. Some said school, some work, but all had some type of goal. Today, take a little time to recognize nurses' life-saving dedication on National Nurses Day. The coronavirus pandemic is really shining a light on how nurses put their lives on the line every day to help others. And they have taken stronger leadership roles in the past decades, taking over many responsibilities that used to be reserved for just physicians. These days, many patients can get diagnosed and treated by a nurse without ever seeing a doctor. Make sure to tell all nurses in your life how much you do appreciate what they do. National Nurses Day kicks off National Nurses Week, which ends on May 12th, and that is the birthday of Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing. A special thanks from all of us here to you nurses. Thanks for taking the time to stay informed with 4 News Now, your local coronavirus headquarters. We hope you stay safe, stay healthy. Have a great day.